How many times have you wondered why your life isn't going the way you want it to? How many times have you felt as if your prayers were having no effect? And again, how many times has it felt as if something was preventing you from achieving happiness and personal fulfillment? In this video, thanks to a Zen story full of Buddhist wisdom, you will discover the truth that no one told you about prayer. And if you stay until the end of the video, you will discover the 9 things you should never do when you pray if you want the divine and the universe to listen to you. But before continuing, if you are not yet one of us, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications. And now, let's go. The morning sun filtered through the leaves of the maples, creating a play of light and shadow in the Zen garden where the elderly monk Hiro awaited his guests. The pilgrims, a diverse group of souls seeking wisdom and a new beginning, approached with reverence. There were young people looking for direction in life, adults burdened by worries, and elderly people longing for inner peace. Hiro, with his warm smile and eyes shining with Buddhist wisdom, welcomed them like a loving father. "Welcome, dear friends," he said in a calm, reassuring voice. "I am pleased to share with you some reflections on prayer and the way of praying, because prayer is a powerful tool for personal and spiritual growth that can transform your life, but we must know how to cultivate it." The pilgrims sat in a circle around him, eager to listen to his words. And Hiro began his speech, weaving Zen stories and Buddhist teachings with practical advice for everyday life. Prayer, Hiro explained, is a bridge that connects our inner self with the infinite universe, regardless of what religion each of you believes in. It is a sacred dialogue that allows us to express gratitude, ask for guidance, and find comfort. But like any powerful tool, prayer requires skill and awareness. Many people pray the wrong way, and this prevents them from getting the results they want. Hiro paused, letting his words sink into the minds of the pilgrims. Then, with a measured gesture, he began to illustrate the 9 mistakes to avoid during prayer if we want the divine or the universe to really listen to us. "The first mistake not to make when you pray is praying to be seen," began the monk. "Once," he continued, "a young pilgrim came to me boasting of the long prayers he made in public. He knelt for hours in crowded places, reciting his supplications aloud, convinced that the divine would reward him for his ostentatious devotion. Then I asked him, 'Why do you pray?' And he replied, 'To show my devotion to the divine and the universe, and earn the respect of others.' I said, 'True devotion lies in the heart, not in words. Pray silently with sincerity, and you will be listened to attentively. Your reward will be inner peace and spiritual growth, not the approval of others." Hiro emphasized the importance of authenticity in prayer, a pillar of inner growth and spiritual awakening. "Remember," he added, "that prayer is an intimate act between you and the divine. Don't seek the approval of others, but the connection with your soul. True prayer does not need spectators, but only an open and sincere heart." Praying with hypocrisy was the second mistake the monk spoke of. A wealthy merchant, Hiro continued, offered generous gifts to the temple, but treated his servants cruelly. He was a greedy and unscrupulous man, but he wanted to appear as a devoted benefactor. One day, while he was praying at the temple, I told him, "Your prayers are empty if they are not reflected in your actions." True spirituality lies in compassion and kindness towards all living beings. You cannot deceive the divine who sees beyond appearances. This example highlighted the importance of emotional balance and emotional intelligence in spiritual practice. Your life must be a reflection of your prayers, Hiro explained. It is not enough to recite sacred words, you must live them. True prayer manifests itself through compassion, generosity, and unconditional love. Praying with empty words, Hiro continued, is another common mistake made by those who approach prayer. I remember a monk who mechanically repeated the same prayers every day without understanding their deeper meaning. His words had become an empty ritual, devoid of feeling and connection to the divine. One day, I asked him, "What do these words mean to you?" He fell silent, unable to answer. Remember, dear pilgrims, that true prayer comes from the heart, not from the repetition of empty formulas. Express your wishes and concerns in sincere and heartfelt words. Speak to the divine as you would speak to a trusted friend, confiding your joys, your sorrows, and your hopes. Hiro encouraged the pilgrims to find their own words, to express their inner truth in prayer. Don't just recite canned prayers, he said, but create your own, ones that resonate with your soul. You will see that they will have a much greater value than those prepackaged and mechanically recited without putting your soul into it. While the pilgrims listened with great interest to the words of their mentor, Hiro moved on to another mistake: praying without faith. A desperate farmer, the monk recounted, came to me asking for help with his parched land. He had lost all hope, convinced that his situation was beyond remedy. I told him, "Pray with faith, believing that the rain will come." The farmer, initially skeptical, decided to follow my advice. He prayed with all his heart, visualizing the rain falling on his land and nourishing his crops. And the rain came abundant. Remember that faith is the spark that ignites the power of prayer. It is the engine of manifestation. This personal growth pill underlined the importance of trust and hope in spiritual research and in achieving one's goals. Faith, Hiro added, is not just believing in something, but believing that something is possible. It is the strength that pushes us to move forward even when all seems lost. Praying without listening, Hiro said, is another mistake many of you make when praying. To drive home his point, he described a young student who prayed incessantly for success in exams, but ignored his teachers and did not put in the effort to study. He was convinced that prayer was enough without realizing that he had to do his part. I told him, prayer is a dialogue with the universe. Listen to the answers that are given to you, also through the words of your teachers, the books you read, and the experiences you live. Prayer does not replace action, but guides and supports it. Remember to open your minds and hearts to the wisdom that surrounds you, develop a winning mind, and embark on a path of personal growth. True wisdom, Hiro said, comes from deep listening, both internally and externally. Listen to the voice of your soul, but also to the signals that the universe sends you. Another important thing you need to remember is not to pray with very high and rigid expectations. A woman, Hiro recounted, prayed to marry a rich and powerful man, but when she did, she had a bad experience. That man mistreated her and had no respect for her, leading her to cancel herself and feel bad about herself and the world around her. Then, after leaving this failed story behind, she found happiness with a humble craftsman who loved her for who she was. This woman was obsessed with finding a wealthy husband, but the universe had a different destiny in store for her. One day, while she was praying at the temple, I told her, the universe has a greater plan for you, which is beyond your limited expectations. Trust the path that is shown to you, even if it does not correspond to your initial desires. Hiro explained that our expectations can limit our possibilities. Open yourself to the unexpected, he said, and you will discover that the universe has gifts in store for you that you never imagined. True happiness is not always found where we think we will find it. So, stay open and listen to the voice of the universe. Praying without acting is another mistake you shouldn't make, Hiro continued. I remember a man who prayed for healing, but refused medical treatment and continued to lead an unhealthy lifestyle. He was convinced that prayer was the only solution, but he ignored his responsibility in the healing process. I told him, prayer is a catalyst for action. Don't wait for miracles to happen on their own, but do your part. Take care of your body and mind, seek help from experts, and put into practice the advice you receive. Always remember the importance of personal commitment and responsibility in the spiritual path and in life in general. Prayer is not a shortcut, but a stepping stone to action. You must always do your part to make your wishes come true. The sun was beginning to hide behind the mountains when Hiro spoke about the penultimate mistake not to make when praying with anger or resentment. The monk described a warrior who prayed for vengeance after losing a battle. He was consumed by hatred and the desire for revenge, but this only made him more unhappy. I told him, anger poisons the heart and darkens the mind. Pray for peace and compassion, both towards yourself and towards others. Only in this way will you find true strength and serenity. Remember, dear pilgrims, to cultivate inner peace and emotional balance, to forgive yourself and others, to free yourselves from the weight of the past and live in the present. Anger, Hiro explained, is like a fire that burns only those who fuel it. Prayer can be a balm for the soul, a way to transform negative energy into positive. Praying without gratitude is another mistake you shouldn't make. Hiro continued, there was an old monk who, despite the difficulties, gave thanks every day for the gifts of life. He had lost his sight and hearing, but he had not lost his zest for life. Gratitude, Hiro said, opens the door to abundance. Give thanks for what you have, for the small daily joys, for the lessons learned, and for the challenges overcome. Gratitude is the key to attracting even more blessings into your life. Hiro invited the pilgrims to keep a gratitude journal, writing down each day the things they were grateful for. Gratitude, he said, is a muscle that needs to be trained every day. The more you practice being grateful, the more you will attract positive things into your life. The pilgrims, deeply touched by Hiro's words, thanked him for his wisdom. As they walked away, they took with them not only the monk's Zen advice, but also the hope and motivation to embark on a path of personal and spiritual growth, a path towards inner peace, happiness, and personal fulfillment.